Started. All right, everybody, welcome to our team call. It is November 19th, and before I introduce my friend Casey, I want to just do a quick shout out for the Disney earners that I know about. And in this order, this is so stinking excited. Zoe Scott, top 100. Erin Peck Izzo, top 100. Vanessa Iverson, top 100. Carly and Katie Nestor, top 100. You guys, that is unbelievable. So that means their hotel and $1,000 cash. 4 people on our team. So yay! Then we still have Marilyn Bocott, who, guys, she is watching team calls. Now, this was an absolute stranger that I met through the referral program that enrolled under someone, well, that she enrolled under someone I met through the referral program that I didn't know either. She earned Disney and got the hotel. I mean, absolutely crazy. And then Sarah Farnsworth, and it looks like Lori Keene just made it last minute, and also Tessa House. So we'll get the final numbers. There may be, something else happening that I'm not aware of. But guys, I'm just so excited for you. Not an easy challenge, and so proud of you guys all for really working hard to make that happen. And then we are on to the iPad Pro, like my backdrop. So I hope you're filling out your little incentive sheet and working hard. This is your last week to earn 1 or 2 iPad Pros. And there are people who have earned 2 already. I can hardly believe it. So guys, let's keep working hard on that. Get your teams sharing and really working towards getting an iPad Pro. Who wouldn't like that for a holiday gift? All right. Without further ado, I'm going to bring on my friend Casey. To know this girl is to love her. She is so full of enthusiasm and always has a smile on her face. She is the epitome of the word fun. And how I know her, well, I knew her in Isogenics before Growth U. We did a Super Saturday event in Michigan a couple years ago, and I had the honor of meeting her there. But she is also a founding growth leader with Tyler and Susan and John and I, and so we've been in Austin together and filming together, doing these programs together, and it's just an honor to be able to share her with you guys today. So just a little background on Casey. I'm going to have her share her story with you, but she's a retired nurse. So we have another retired nurse, I think, on the line tonight. So not only that, her husband is retired from the military. He was an active duty. He was in active duty, and he is now retired from that as well. They have 2 dogs. They live in North Carolina, although she's in Hilton Head right now. And she's an 8-star platinum, guys. Platinum. She's got a second business center, 4-star crystal executive. So Casey, thank you for showing up, being here with us tonight, even while you're traveling. And I just want to start off with those of our team members that do not know your story. If you wouldn't mind just sharing your story and how you got started with Isogenics to start us off tonight.
For sure, I'd love to, and thanks for having me. And oh my gosh, Sydney just rocked out a call for one of my leaders on a run to executive. So yeah, you guys, I'm an Isogenics missionary. So anytime I can share anything about it, I'm all about it. But 6 years ago, Isogenics came into my life, and I was a pediatric oncology nurse. I was living on Red Bull coffee, Diet Mountain Dew, you know the name of the game if you're a night shifter, and these products came into my life, thought it was going to be a 10-pound thing, and I fell in love. And if you've ever been around a child fighting for their life, I was throwing my health away on so many levels. And, prior to that, I worked in the adult intensive care unit where I wouldn't have seen 85% of that population had it been for lifestyle changes. And I was the one who would hear the word organic and be like, oh my gosh, these tree hugging like hippies, get out of here. Now I literally hug trees. But that's where it started. And I fell in love with these products.
This one?
Yeah. So and I fell in love with the products, and lo and behold, I was sharing it just out of enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, I'm trying to keep on top of this.
It happens.
Let me. All right, let me unmute you now. Okay, let's try that again. Sorry, Casey.
No, you're all good, girl. Shoot, I run Zooms, I know. I was just enthusiastically sharing it with people. Oh my gosh, verbal vomited over for everybody. I read this book. It was Detox or Die. I was literally telling people if they needed to detox or die. People I think were running away from me as fast as I could run to them. But I was just so passionate about like learning about this whole new world on health. And my friend Jen said, Casey, you should look at this opportunity. And I thought, oh my gosh, so it's one of those things. I had this concept of network marketing being buying like a ton of products up front, storing it, reselling it. I saw my mom do something like that when I was younger. That I don't have a large network. I'm not a salesperson, but I was for sure going to tell people they needed to detox or die, right? And I, by the grace of God, I went to a Christmas party that I was invited to. And at that Christmas party, a woman by the name of Callie Miller flew in because Jennifer Trinkner was just like blowing up one of her legs that she had meditated on. And she handed me the book called The 4-Year Career, and that changed my destiny, that book. I get emotional just thinking about her buying 100 books, and she said, if one person gets it, that's all that matters. And I put that book in my floorboard, went to a basketball game with my husband and nephew, and by the grace of God, my phone was dead. And I was like, what am I going to do at a basketball game? I'm not a sports person. And I saw that book. And I read that book cover to cover at a basketball game, and that changed. I got it. I got the concept. I got the concept that if you love a product, that this industry could change my life. And I called Jennifer. I said, girl, what do I got to do? She said, get to NYKO. I said, are you high? Like, I don't have time and money. Like, you're married to the successful dinner. Like, you have money already. And so she said, if you're serious, it can't be an option. And so I took money that I didn't have, and I put it on a credit card, and I roomed with a complete stranger, and I committed to 4 years that I would be an Isogenics millionaire. And 4 years later at that same event, I was walking across that stage as an Isogenics millionaire. And guys, it took me almost 2 years to get to executive. Like, I was not an overnight success at all, but I was charging for executive, but it took me 2 years. We didn't really know what we were doing. Jennifer, she didn't have any network marketing experience, so we were just kind of floundering out and about. And now, you know, she's a powerhouse, like top 20 or something income earner. But you know, it was, guys, oh my gosh, I wish I could put a USB cord in my head and like plug it into everybody. So you'd be like, oh my gosh, if that girl can do it, freaking anybody can do it. And you guys, you know, like those signs that like write specials on like restaurants. I put one of those outside of my house. I put signs up for trick-or-treating on my door and prospected every single person that came trick-or-treating. I went and I got business cards made, and my husband being in the military, you can go to all the gyms for free. I would go in the gyms and I would sit and I would pounce on every person that walked through. Like, I didn't know how I was going to build this business. We didn't have the social media stuff figured out yet, or like any guidance. I didn't realize that, you know, you should ask questions before you present or let your prospect determine your presentation. I didn't know any of that. I was just committed, and I was going to figure it out, you know, like at the last event, the leadership meeting, you know, no arms, no legs. He's like, figure it out. I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure it out. But there's zero doubt in my mind, though, that it was my commitment, my unrelentless commitment that I was going to do this, that, you know, tell that mountain to move from here to here. I had 100% faith that I was going to not quit, and whatever it took, I was going to figure it out. And so I know that that's why so much happened. And in 4 years, I was able, you know, to do that from that decision. So
now,
that's what about my story.
Always that way? Were you always committed like that with what you did?
I mean, yeah, I was for sure. I was a committed nurse. You know, I would always go above and beyond. I mean, I'd go up to the hospital on my days off, you know, being passionate about some of those kids. And so, yeah, if I, you know, make a decision, but my business coach now is like, what's your issue with commitment? I'm like, because when I commit. So I'm shy to commit, I think. But you guys, when I went to that event, and I saw what I had behind me, right? Because the products I knew, like that's handled. But when I saw the heart of Jim and Kathy Cooler, and I saw all the pieces in place, and I learned this comp plan, and I got the concept that everybody eats, that, like, you know, that there's not levels. I became a student kind of the industry, you know, too, and just like what's multi-level versus, I don't even consider us multi-level. Cindy, I'm sure you can speak far more, than I can on that aspect, but it's like, I just got it. And then I saw that re-entry thing. And I remember it was a presentation that Jay Bennett did. And it was like just the idea of grocery stores, right? Like people opening up grocery stores and this grocery shopping. And then I got the volume and like, you guys, I really can't do basic algebra. Like I count on my fingers, but I got that concept and I was like game freaking on because I got frustrated with the politics in healthcare. I got frustrated with the fact that I couldn't help people that I wanted to in that, aspect. And I feel like I nurse more now than I ever could have as a nurse, just with Isogenics alone on a wellness standpoint. And then to be able to couple in, mind, body, and soul, like healthy mind and body, like I embrace everything about like the ISO life. Like I'm a missionary of Isogenics.
That's great. All right. So one of my first questions has to be, how important is personal development and how has it played a role in your journey?
Everything. So I felt like this building my business for, a year and a half. And I went to an event. I read a book and it was called I Believe You Can. You guys, I did not read before Isogenics, like Cliff Notes girl. That was it. I had gotten in trouble as a teenager and was locked up for a little while, and Harry Potter is the only books I had ever read. So, but somebody said leaders are readers. So I said, okay, I'm going to start reading, right? That commitment. And so then it was the I Believe You Can. She said, just cut things out, put it up on your wall. You don't have to understand it. And that took me to an event called Follow Your Bliss in St. George, Utah. And I met a man by the name of Dave MacArthur. And Dave MacArthur changed my life. I love that man, is a brother for me. And he said, Casey, if you would couple your commitment to understanding your mindset and what you're thinking and grow yourself personally the way that you're committed to the business aspect, he said, I promise you, you could double your business in 90 days. And I tripled it in 90 days. I hit executive and I had my first 5-figure week in Isogenics. And then it was a rocket ship. At that point, I think fate like really struck even more massively. 1% doubt is 0% faith, but it was like faith more so in myself at a faster level because I really started to understand the power between my ears of that ability to change the way I thought or change the way I looked at a challenge or opportunity or comparison and all those things. But yeah, I started spending so much time on that. And, I was doing the 50-50 of personal development and, my action. And again, but still more than just still in my IPA, like just making friends. And I just, really got centered around becoming a professional friend maker. And guys, we get paid really good to draw circles and make friends. I mean, it's really amazing. It's a miracle.
And you've made a lot. Now, I don't know.
Personal development. I could speak all night on personal development. Okay. Say that again.
I said it worked out great. I was unstable for a second. So it worked out great. You didn't hear me. Then I lost my train of thought here. All right. I don't know how many people you've enrolled. I don't know if you keep track of exactly how many, but I'm curious because you really do seem to be a professional friend maker. Everywhere I am, when you are there, everyone knows you. Everyone knows you and everyone loves you. So tell us a little bit about that. Do you do like, is enrolling a huge part of your business, or have you enrolled some really great dynamic leaders, or is it a little bit of everything?
No, it's both. And then because I'm a professional friend maker and then friends tend to start hanging out with friends, if I look at probably like what is my number of the people that I've brought in, I mean, it's probably way higher than looking at what my personal enrollments have been, because then when those friends start building and in that network, then, they're enrolling those people and those people and those people, because I just do keep close circles and time. We have a lot of fun together, and then everybody starts to know everybody. Then everybody wants to kind of jump on the fun train and, the ISO life ideas. So yeah, but, in my back office personally, 220. And as far as, but again, I know that that's much higher in that aspect if I was going to, break down why people kind of come. But again, when it's multiple friends and I have people who are committed and all into building, they're going to enroll, the people that are in the network. So, but I work a lot with people that just, I mean, guys, if you have a good attitude and you show up, it took me, almost 2 years to get to executive, but I showed up to everything. I went to the events. I invested in my time. I invested in my growth. I invested in just showing up to anything I could. I never waited for, Jennifer Trinkner to tell me to do something. I was, taking classes on social media because we didn't have any of the training and stuff that you know, like I would show. So when somebody shows up, they can get my time, and Joe and Shanna are people, that the person that enrolled them doesn't even build anymore, so just looking at those reports. And so my time goes a lot to that. But yeah, just making friends and just being amongst the networks and just showing the ice of life, I guess.
And two things I think that probably have already given our team some hope is, one, that you've enrolled a lot of people, but it's not like you've enrolled 900 to have a Platinum Business Center. And that's how I am. I've probably enrolled 300, maybe a little over that, to be able to do the same thing. So I think that's exciting for people to know that you don't have to enroll 1 million people, but you do have to work within your team, and showing up and attitude absolutely are just so important. So let's talk about what you feel your greatest skills are. What skills do you have that have really helped you that maybe some of our team could work on if they're needing to?
You guys, my greatest skill set is honestly love. Like, I think that it's not talked about enough. I know I'll get into a little bit more of a tangible, logical side. But if you read the book, The Greatest Salesman in the World, there's a scroll, and there's these scrolls, and you read them 3 times a day, and it's scroll number 2, and it says, I greet this day with love in my heart. And you silently look upon everyone that you come into contact with, and you say, I love you. And that is a resonance that can be filled, and your questions they may have about you, or your tactics, or your skill, or your dress, or who you are. But like, when you really can love someone, just like, you don't know people's stories, what they've been through, why they are the way they are, when you can just be that and hold that space, people will come from all over to burn their lights with you. And so I just, that's such a skill set, to really step back and love somebody. I love asking questions. That's a really good skill set that I was atrocious at in the beginning. But I have learned, if I can ask the right questions, the right questions lead to the right answers. And if I can then match this vehicle, this life, to what it is for that person, it's totally different than me just presenting what Isogenics has been for me, or for somebody, to really get clear about what that person needs and where they are in their life. The skill set of working with the people who really want it versus trying to, drag people. And again, not let anybody ever drown. I love people. I love them. But, again, my time is limited. And so I really have to work with people, who are showing up and willing to grow and stretch with me. So yeah, and it's persistence. I mean, that's a skill set, right? Persisting is a skill set too. And, I definitely learned social media. That's a skill set, to learn how to get into groups, to have things up in algorithms, keeping up with those trends. Seems like that's forever changing. And so, yeah, but, and my greatest skill set is love. I mean, no doubt. It really is. I don't think that that's talked enough about, really. And I know Miss Congeniality, right? Like, that is. And you can just feel it. People just feel your love around them. They feel your support. They know that when they're ready, you're here. And that's the same, way. But guys, my greatest skill set too is I know that freaking comp plan and those numbers and what it takes to be a maxed out business center, what that reentry likes, how many points, 150,000 on one side, 75,000 on another, that's 250. I talk about that 13,000 5 weekly, 53,000 a month, 702,000 a year. How would 13,500 a week change your life? I ask people that, I show it to everybody. I go through the, part of that 45-second presentation. I saw my boy's desk, but I went on a cruise with Don Fela, And he said that 90% of, I didn't know he was going to be on it. There was just like this Ice cruise. It was my mom's birthday. I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. And he says that 90% of people, in network marketing don't understand it. Like, do we really show people that if we can just, four who find four, who find four, who find four, and that duplicated down, like, and there's 340 people in an organization from an original 4 duplicating numbers. Like, I mean, I talk about numbers in this business and how it doesn't take a whole lot, but it takes a duplication factor. And then what that looks like in residual. You can go to my website. I have my presentation on there. It's haveitall.today under my webinar. And I show those numbers to people and like what that looks like then with associating 100 points to $150 a month, like that being your overhead, tax and shipping, all that stuff. But I really made it my job to understand this $1 million compensation plan that I was in. Of course, they say, keep it simple. You share that share for sure. I'm not getting on a plane, flying across the country, rooming with a stranger for eating for free for $900. I don't know about you guys, and I don't know if you're going to be able to get somebody to go to an event if you're just talking about, let me show you how to make $900. But when I heard that I could bring my husband home and not go through deployments, I was willing to get on that plane. So don't shorten the vision. Yeah, we want to keep it simple and not stuff, but like really like show the whole picture. And I am forever doing geometric progression presentations. I do a couple a day. I mean, I could do it in my freaking sleep now. My husband's never done it, but I think he could do it just from hearing me so much. So showing the numbers. I show those numbers.
That's awesome. All right. And did you say your website was Have It All Day?
Haveitall.today.
Today.
Yeah, haveitall.today. Just click webinar and you can see, and then I have a couple people sharing, and obviously, it's not always that, but I still show those types of numbers. You don't even got to show screenshots of checks or anything of like what but just to give people the concept of if a duplication process started, and I'm like, and that's just the 6%. I'm not even talking about the executive numbers and 10%. I'm talking about freaking 6% at a consultant level. And then you take it that step further, right? Just so people can really grasp what they're sitting in. And that geometric, like that is the 8th wonder of the freaking world is geometric progression. I talk about leverage. I really cast a vision of what it's like to have leverage. And I don't think that if your business isn't where you want it to be, you're probably not having enough of those conversations, right? You're not networking enough. You're trying not to, I don't want to like, or I'm not good enough talking about that. You get good by doing it. You get good by the application. You can read a book all day long on the 45-second presentation until you start doing it. You ain't gonna be good at it. Start doing it. And I got to a place where I realized that, you can't lose what you don't have. Or like, oh my gosh, no, I can't do it for this person because what if I mess up with this person? No, like that person, maybe they were just placed in my life to be a practice board for me. Or maybe they're going to get it. I have a 5-star in my business who bought from me because he felt so bad because I was so horrible. Like at my presentation, he felt bad for me. Now he's a 5-star, right? Thank God I did not let myself get in my way of being bad presenting. So
yeah, geez, that's great. And you guys, they're probably cracking up because we have been talking about and reading the 45-second presentation. We just had a couple Super Saturdays, and Tyler actually just drew out the napkin presentations at our Super Saturday. So that's hysterical. All right, so let's talk about objections. We get a lot of people that get either the price objection or for the business time. Have you had any objections, and how do you overcome them?
I mean, first, you can't take it personal, right? That's first and foremost. Like, people aren't saying no to me. People don't know what they don't know. Objections just aren't even phasing me. I've gotten to a place where it's just like, my whole thing with an objection is this. My life is not going to change at all because I'm committed, right? I'm committed to finding the people who want to lock arms with me and do this thing called ISO life, freedom, health, wellness, like the whole level, right? I'm so committed to that somebody saying no to me has no impact on me. It has every impact on them. they're saying no to them. And so I got so much clarity around that. But yeah, price objections happen. And, you know, obviously that's where asking the right questions up front and figuring out, like, you know, even what people are spending or what their life is like. And then if price is really that level, I go into my love bubble and I send them love, and I'm just seeing a different life for this person. I literally, if I'm on the phone, you guys, I close my eyes, I get into this state. I mean, if you study law of attraction, I mean, everything really is connected, and I get into this place and I just see it for them. I feel it for them. And then I ask them another question. You know, how often does money stop you from doing what it is that you want to do? Like, you know, how often does money not allow you to buy the groceries that you want to fuel your body with to have better health? Like, how often is that what your life is like on a day-to-day basis? You know, how often do you have to check with your spouse before you can buy groceries? Like, because it doesn't have to be that way, you know? And so I just ask questions, and then I let them know that I'm here. Like, when they're ready and they're committed, like I'm your partner in this. Like, when you're ready to really make that change and to turn your excuse into your reason, like, come back to me. Like, I'm gonna run with you when you're ready. Of course, follow up, check in, keep in contact with those people. But you guys, whenever you're stuck, ask a question. Ask a question, get somebody talking, and then listen to understand and not to say this script thing. Like, really let your heart hear what this person is saying, you know, people, and hear what's being, you know, meant, not said, right? Like, really hear what's like going on underneath. And I'm telling you, when you can do that, you can cast this for people to where they gonna start getting in. And I still send them additional information. Hey, look, I'm just gonna send you, you know, a little information, ice maybe or something, watch it. They're in the product pages, all those things. Guys, if you can stir somebody's soul with questions like that, and they can feel your genuine love and that you saw a different life for them, they will feel that. I'm telling you, they will come back. They will come back. Don't get stuck in objections. That there's really no objections, honestly. I mean, there's just a growing and an experience. It's not I don't even feel like objections really apply. But it's not that way in the beginning.
Yep, and I couldn't agree more. How about if you're someone who feels discouraged, either when you get a no, or if you've had a bad week, or how about even after you have a kind of a high week with salted caramel coming out and then the next week's a little lower? How do you, if you've been through disappointment like that, how do you get past that, and how can you help our team get past discouragements and things that will happen? We know it will.
If you ain't getting discouraged at times, you ain't doing enough, right? You ain't enough action, or you don't have big enough goals. If those feelings don't present at times, you guys, they're opportunity for expansion and growth. Like, truly know that. I mean, in the beginning though, yeah, like, oh my gosh, your first returns, or the no's, or, you know, going to so many people and no. I mean, I just remember breaking down in the beginning, just crying, like feeling like I couldn't do it. Like, but I was like, oh my gosh, Kenny, like, I made this commitment. I told the world that I was going to be a freaking Isogenics millionaire. And it's just letdown after letdown after letdown. I had a friend be like, oh, you're those snake oil things, like a close friend. So, I mean, yeah, I've been through that. But it's just like, my reason for doing it. And still now this day, it's totally different. Now I work in these mission trips and in water and just really changing the world at a high level in many areas, right? My husband's home. That was my initial why. Really my initial why, y'all. I didn't even have no central heat. Like, I was walking on like such old floors. My feet would be black. Like, my feet would burn on space heaters. Like, when I started Isogenics, living in this like tiny little duplex. I mean, it really, like, right. So that maybe was the little bit of initial one, right? Maybe getting some central heat, but so there's a progression, right? Like, as your goals and stuff expand, but it's like, you cannot let that like knock you down. I mean, because the reality of it is it's taking you to a place of, if I can look at how am I learning and growing from this, and like, I can bless this downtime, and I can go back to gratitude. And put this affirmation all over, get it tattooed, whatever you got to do. What I appreciate appreciates, right? And that's I think I got from our boy Rod. What I appreciate appreciates. And so when you're going through these moments of stagnation or dipping, look at any freaking business in the world, it is going to have these moments. But it's when you go in the dip, everybody can be happy and joyful and all handy and good and practicing, law of attraction or bringing things in and gratitude and, thanking God and all that stuff when time's good. It's in that dip that character, that true commitment, that true faith is shown is in those dips. So when they happen, be like, all right, this character is about to go up because I'm going to be aware that I'm in this level and I'm going to get back to appreciation. I'm going to get back to loving the fact that I even have an opportunity to be able to build an organization like this because, traveling in third world countries and seeing some things, you guys, people would kill to have the kind of opportunity that we have. And so like the fact of doubting or getting frustrated, somebody's like, oh my God, I'm down 10 cycles, I'm down 5 cycles. I'm like, I'm down 100 and what? Like, go, like if we're going to focus on that, but what you focus on, you will find. So you start rut drilling and a victim and whoa, or all these, no, you're going to keep finding more and more things to keep you in that dip. Or you can say, okay, maybe this is a time that I need to see how I could have learned from this. And this is the time that I can go into gratitude, look at the gratitude of my health, my family, the fact that I am doing, 5 cycles a week, 1 cycle a week. Guys, if you don't have $93,933 sitting in the bank, if you do not have that and your bank's not paying you 3% and you're not happy about 1 cycle a week, you have to ask yourself, because you would have to have $93,933 sitting in the bank paying you 3% for $54 a week, 1 cycle a week coming in. So to have that appreciation for what you have to be able to build, that will shift it. And that is what I have found always takes me there. And you guys, I went in a really dark phase in my Isogenics business, just to take you through the truth, because you can see all the highlight reels and all the Facebook and see the stories and right? There's some times where there's some dips in this, especially as your organization grows and things, or you feel like your time's getting pulled, all these things can start taking place. But so that's why you want to grow into the person that you can be your best self, so that you can receive at these high levels and these income and knowing your time and all those things. Because if all this would have came in the very beginning, I wouldn't have been able to handle it, or even understanding how to manage money and tax and all these things that really, when that abundance starts coming in. So it's so beautiful for it to stair step sometimes and to have those phases of stagnation to gain some clarity around some things. But I got in an accident in my back, and I was really injured. And it's a pattern that I've been inviting into my life for many years. And being bedridden, and I was on so many pain pills and steroids, and I started drinking too much. I was just in a dark place. But thank God I was earning $40,000 a month doing nothing in my Isogenics business, because I committed to getting it to a level, right? That 4-year career, I was committed, and I had such an amazing team that came in and picked up my slack of that leverage when I was going through that phase. And you guys, I got to the point where I don't know what was going on with my health. I was losing control of my bladder, and I was focused. It was so just this alone space, but I didn't want to put that on my team or bring that out, so I felt alone, and I had recluse back. And for sure I saw dips in my business, right? But it was my mindset and all that, just really allowing this injury to suck me down. Even all that I knew, I still just kept going further and further into this kind of hit. But thank God I had an Isogenics community and friends that reached out, and they're like, this is not you, what's going on? And I was able to get back at such a high level into the personal development, into the action. And you guys, I had the money to go out and get stem cells and heal myself naturally, because insurance doesn't cover that. They were going to cover surgery, they wouldn't cover stem cells, right? And so it's but it doesn't matter. If I hadn't have been through all the growth and stuff, I don't think that I could have pulled myself out of that at the level. And so it's the person that you're going to become, and the challenges that you're going to have, and the strength that I have now after going through that dark time. Because don't think that just having more money is going to make you happy, or things are going to be all fine and dandy just because you have all this money. Now, it's great, and I've had money, and I've not had money. It's way better having money, right? In a lot of situations. but it's still not at the core ever going to make you happy or make your relationships what they deserve to be, you know, with your spouse or your friends or anything. And so if you can look at it at this whole, you know, growth experience with this amazing compensation plan attached from putting this amazing nutrition in your body. I mean, I should have been the size of a freaking house with all the steroids and emotional eating that I was doing. But because I had isogenics and I was still putting it in my body and still had that, like, everything. And so, like, do you know what you have? You know, I pray that nobody ever has to go through a rainy day. But if a rainy day ever comes and you're taking the time that you have now, you know, to build and crank this out and treat it like you invested $100,000 for, you know, a doctorate degree to then get out and work your butt off for $250,000 a year and overhead and stress and all that stuff and having to have your doors open, if you would treat this like you would that, oh my gosh, the return on investment is so much higher. But it's the person you become. It's the relationships that you have. You are going to have dips. Dips are where the growth can really be found. Guys, everybody can be happy when it's rainbows and sunshine. But when you can be happy and excited about a dip, whoo, that is going to welcome in some abundance. Just keep going. Just keep going. Plug in, show up, get around your community. You know, action will push down fear and doubt. Sometimes I need more action. You know, is my business not growing because I've just been not doing any action? Have I just been doing way too much personal development? Or have I been on a hamster wheel of action and not getting what I want because I haven't been doing personal development, right? So, like, finding that is, and only you know that. Nobody knows what's going on in your life besides you. So you have to get honest with yourself, take 100% responsibility. That can be scary or liberating, right? Depending on what's going on in between here. But it's that 100% responsibility of nobody is responsible for how I feel. And I have given my relationship with my husband has never been better. And it's all this growth that I've learned. And you guys, that's worth millions of dollars, you know, billions of dollars to have a love like I'm having right now. And it is this because I gave him permission that he was not responsible at all for my happiness. And I took full responsibility for it. And then he has felt guys, take that. When you go through that dip, take that 100% responsibility. I brought myself to it. We all want to take, you know, all the, yeah, like when things are going well, that we did this, we did that. We'll take that 100% responsibility for that dip too. Talk kind to yourself. Don't be hard. Look at yourself like a little child, you know, going through a hard time, or, you know, if life circumstances can happen, and when it rains, it can pour. And that seems to be, you know, something that's like, oh my gosh, all these things. It's still, I brought all of that into my life. I brought it all. I brought it because I didn't catch it soon enough. I allowed myself to go deep into it. But when I took that 100% responsibility again, it shifted. So, like, that's it, you guys. When you dip 100%, but find the gratitude in it, and appreciation journals, ooh, that's the jam.
Yeah, that's great. All right. How about, and we'll probably close after, I'd like 2 more questions. This
Sure.
next one, how about some top tips on growing your organization? What top tips can you give everyone that they can do and get into action to really make the end of this year really set them up great for the beginning of next year?
Yeah, you know, I mean, statistically, and February is always spikes in my organization, and I believe it's because, you know, January, you make all these New Year's resolutions, get outside, make more money, lose weight, yada, 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 and then February comes and life's still the same for people, right? So right now, the seeds that you are planting are everything, right? To really close out the year strong. And everybody's at a different level. So you have to, you know, check in with yourself. If you're, you know, not finding traction right now on social media, or you're feeling crickets, or you don't have it, get out from behind that freaking computer and go out and talk to some people. Make some freaking friends, right? Like, don't just sit there and like crickets and then let yourself, oh, I'm in a dip. Nobody's, you know, commenting or liking on the social media stuff, right? Still grow your network or whatever, but get out and start connecting. Get out and start making friends. Like, you know, practice with each other right now on your 45-second presentations, on conversations, on mock things like that. If that's where you need to be, I say go out there and do it with other people. people, but I don't, where your scare level are. Like, if you're not going to do that, at least do it there and then gain some confidence. But if you're not registered for NYKO, like, immediately like that, if you want this to be your vehicle, I mean, that you just got to figure it out. So that would be my tip. But yeah, you guys, get out from behind the computer screen if you feel stagnant on there. I've heard that so much lately, like, oh, I'm not getting anything, or crickets, everybody's feeling. Let people see you and feel you and get involved in things that you're excited about. Have some freaking fun. That Christmas party exchange that you didn't want to go to because you don't have time, go. That event that you don't want to go to because, oh, I'm so busy with them, go and get everybody on your freaking Facebook, right? And just start getting out in the community. Have an event, have a party at your house. Doesn't have to be a crazy, but invite people over and serve some, have a game night. I mean, start networking, you guys. This business, there's not a whole lot of pieces to it, but the number one piece is people. The number one piece is people. And so if you feel like you're not enrolling enough people, start connecting with more people. If you feel like you don't have enough people to talk to, go find people to talk to. And again, I have people who build 100% behind the computer screen, works for them. I have other people, it's not their way, right? They don't enjoy it. So you have to find the way that feels good for you. So that would be, you guys, my tip is get your event schedule. Your whole entire year should be marked out with Isagenix events. Always be looking at where are, Super Saturdays in areas for people that are like local, like, go look at those associate run events, where are your team members that are, who can you send? It is your highest paid skill set in this industry is events. So knowing, where some of your team members are or talking, like, definitely do those. And, finding out then when people are enrolling, another skill like would be, are you then taking the time to see what their goals are, like that new associate interview and stuff like that. And I know I'm saying I'm sure all about that, but like, guys, stop complicating it, stop it. Number one tip, stop it. Go talk to people, make some friends, go have fun, go find things that you enjoy doing and start building a community in those things, because then it don't even feel like work, right? And I'm all about things not feeling like work. I'm all about have fun.
You do just that. You do breathing and meditation and yoga and all these things, and you've done exactly what you just told us to do. You've gone out, and that's how you've met so many people that I've been introduced to.
Yeah, you guys, if I could go on a tangent for a second, if you'd allow me that. Did you have one more question though before I want to close?
I was going to have one closing question. Yep.
Give me a question.
The last question I have for you is, I know how this has changed your life financially. I would love you to leave us with hope that it could do the same thing for others on my team. Because when you share your story of where you were financially when you started, and now you're able to give and donate and do mission trips and do all these beautiful things to help other people, I want everyone to be able to do that. I really do. I want them to know and believe they can do that too.
You guys, your why has to be greater than your excuses, and I mean, I get emotional just thinking about, like, because I've taken myself through those pictures of the things that I've been able to do, and because of Isagenix. And I mean, what would it feel like to be able to see the need for somebody that needs a well in an orphanage, that your friend, that one of your Isagenix runners, it's a passion of hers, and you see that they need a well, and you're just able check for $20,000 doesn't impact you at all because you've been a steward of learning how to receive. Like, how would that make you feel the next time you got in a freaking shower, the next time you flushed a toilet, the next time you just were able to turn on the faucet and get water, right? Like, how would that feel? How would it feel to be able to write the check for your child going to college, or half of it, so that they don't get out in $50,000, $100,000 of front-loaded student loans? What would that be like? How would it feel to be able to start a policy for your parents for if they ever need care in their older years? It's nothing for you because you've been able to plan for that. How does it feel to go on a vacation that you don't have to save up for? You make it in a week, week to go on a 5-star vacation in Hawaii, and then you get there and your soul is stirring and you want to stay for an extra 3 weeks, and you just change the flight. You're not calling nobody, having to worry about nothing. Like, how would it feel to be able to be a full-time family instead of a part-time family with full-time jobs? Like, what would that feel like? And attach yourself to that feeling, because, you know, the human imagination and the feeling behind it is the Jesus Christ of Scripture. Let that sink in, you guys. How you feel is that's really the whole personal development thing to really understand and lock in at a high level, is how you feel is what your point of power is. Your point of power is always in the present moment, right freaking now. Not what you did last week or didn't do, or who I didn't talk to, or shitting all over yourself, or what you should have done. It's not in the future, because the future is simply creating right now. That is all the future is. So to be worried about the future, live in the past, it's futile, because your point of power is in this present moment. And so if you can start imagining that, because I know what mine are, you know, I knew what mine were, but I don't know what yours are. I haven't had the chance to talk to each of you beautiful souls on here and hear about your dreams and your families and like your desires and your hearts and your passions. But I'm just telling you, if you will get clear on that for yourself, there ain't no objection that's going to take you out of the game. That's just not possible. It can't. And then your faith, right? That 1% doubts 0%. And so then you have such faith because you're so clear. The reason why we don't get what we want is because we don't know what we want. And we haven't made like that decision. And you know, that decision, oh my gosh, will change everything when you really make that decision. So just please do yourself a favor. Get clear, because I've been able to write just incredible checks. I was able to tell my husband he could retire from active duty military. I was able to get myself out of a system that is crashing and burning and left me no joy anymore. And, you know, you just can't put in words to what it's like living paycheck to paycheck, worrying about deployments, like worrying about your husband coming home in a body bag. Like, you guys, there was nothing that somebody could have said that is bigger than that, you know? And so if you can, and maybe yours is just to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, right? And you just want to go on spa days. That's okay too. Like, it doesn't have to be so tied into that. Like, I mean, but you guys, one person can change the world. One freaking person can change the world. And one person is changing the world. Every single one of you on here, because you will have a ripple effect. You will have a ripple effect. And the fact of becoming a great receiver, to give a good, you know, giver, it's so beautiful. So please picture it for yourself. If you can't picture it for yourself, it's not going to happen. It doesn't matter that Cindy believes in you. It doesn't matter that I believe in you. You have to believe in you, right? Like, I had to increase my financial blueprint. I had to increase my worthiness. I had to increase my deservingness, like all of those things. But oh my gosh, it's just so worth it. It's so sweet.
That's awesome. I hope you've been reading the comments. Everybody is just praising you, and talk about great vision casting. That's exactly what I think, Randy. So I just love you. I love your story. I love your transformation. Like, to just see in the few short years I've known you, how you have grown and changed, and what you've been able to do financially and to serve other people the way you do at such a high level is just an absolute blessing. And I'm so looking forward to many more experiences with you and Founding Growth Leaders with Rod Hairston. And I can't thank you for giving your time up tonight, because I know you're with friends at the beach. So
like I said, I speak missionary whenever I can start. You guys, I'm doing an event the 15th through 16th, MYKO priority. But if you can, you know, down in Atlanta, it's a really easy place to get into. And the 15th through 16th, I'm bringing my friend who's a breather. And breathing has changed my life. My business exploded in my life when I got into personal development and breathing and intentional. And then when I quit all those things, it kind of got me where I was, slowly and surely, right? The spiral down, similar, but as soon as I reintroduce all of it to my life, it's like, boom, that expansion again. And so I'll send you the information on that. My boy, Brandon Barber, is going to be there. He's somebody I personally coach with. Brandon Barber. He is just somebody who brought joy in the journey. Like, if you're not having fun, majority, of course, we have those challenging moments, but if you're not feeling fulfilled, joy, excited, enthusiastic about building this freaking vehicle, like something's not in alignment, or you're listening to outside noise, or you're trying to conform, you're not honoring your true authentic self, how you want to show up. And so it's just going to be such a beautiful event. But you guys, meditation and breathing, oh my gosh, I do weekends and hours and hours and hours of breathing, and the clarity that comes when you focus on breath and you shut out noise. I believe breath, this is my tangent, when you inspire, you are breathing in spirit. You are inspiring life. Think about the word in spirit. You inspire. And then when you breathe out, you recommune back out to your creator, God, Christ, Buddha, whoever it is for you, right? You can live for months without food, days without water, minutes without breath. And if you can be just as excited and enthusiastic about breathing and meditating as you think that you will be when you hit Isogenics Millionaire or go platinum, that is what will create platinum and millionaire, is celebrating the little things, right? It's not, platinum is not the celebration. It's all the friends that you made. It's all the phone calls. It's all the Zooms. It's all the events that you went to, right? It's little things that create the big things. If you can tie in such enthusiasm around the gift of life, the first thing that you listen to for a baby to have life, if you can get excited about that and start doing that more and going into the feeling of imagining those questions that I asked, like, what would it feel like for you, and shift your resonance, you will start attracting people. You cannot keep people away from popping up into your organization via, if you enroll them or somebody 1,000 levels bring them in, they will show up and you will find them. But just like, oh my gosh, you guys, meditate, visualize, get clear, and center with a meditation. And that shifted everything for me. And when I stopped, everything went back down. And when I started again, boom, I guess I'm like, I ain't not giving that message ever again. So I love you.
Yes. Send me the link. Thank you. We do have some team members there, so maybe we can get some people there. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, everybody. And I will send you the recorded the link for this, Casey, and all the comments from my team who
Thanks
just love you.
Guys.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Casey.
Bless some people.